All right, everyone, what is up here today? Jigsaw0097 making a video about Foles again because it really is the only news coming out of the Eagles right now. There's a report today that the Eagles fear that Nick Foles might sign with the Giants. As you guys know, they tried to pick up his $20 million option. He paid the $2 million back to void that option. I'll leave a link to that video if you want to watch that. But I've already discussed that. And of course, the next move that the Eagles can do is franchise tag Nick Foles, which they might do because they fear he might go to the New York Giants or maybe even the Washington Redskins. They want to keep him out of the NFC, and in particular out of the NFC East. And this creates a lot of red flags for the Eagles organization, how they've handled things. What they may or may not have done wrong. In my opinion, things they've done very wrong, and I will kind of go over that in this video. But really, you guys kind of know where I stand. I think that the Eagles disrespected Nick Foles by coming out and saying that Carson Wentz has earned the starting position. Because by doing that, you basically told Nick Foles, hey, we don't value you in the future, thank you for your service, you're free to move on. When what it should have been is, we will evaluate the position, we don't know where we're headed yet. That leaves the door open for both quarterbacks, because in my opinion, it should be a quarterback competition at this point. And honestly, Nick Foles has already earned the spot. Carson Wentz should be the one that has to prove his worth on this team now. Either that or they should try to trade Carson Wentz for whatever they can get. But absolutely what they did to handle this quarterback situation was not the correct way to handle it. Because in Nick Foles' eyes, I'm sure he felt very disrespected. And so that is why when they picked up his option, he immediately bought out of it. And now the Eagles are going to probably have to pay more money to franchise tag him and then try to trade him off. So, all in all, just handled poorly, guys. Handled very, very poorly, in my opinion. Carson Wentz is a good quarterback, don't get me wrong, but he really has proven nothing, and the way that the fan base just jumps all over him and hates on Nick Foles, it just makes no sense to me. I'm looking at it from an objective standpoint. I'm not even being biased here. I'm looking at what has Nick Foles done compared to what has Carson Wentz done. Carson Wentz is the same level as Dak Prescott or even Jared Goff at this point. In fact, Jared Goff has technically done more than him because Jared Goff made it through an entire season and got to the Super Bowl. And so I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, there's potential, yes. But this league isn't about potential. This league is about, what are you doing for me right now? Nick Foles is doing good things right now. Not only did he win the Super Bowl, he took us back to the playoffs in 2018. And so, never in the history of watching football, other than possibly the Trent Dilfer situation with the Ravens, where that kind of came back and bit them in the ass, have I seen a team handle a Super Bowl MVP like this. I mean, even Joe Flacco got job security after he won the Super Bowl. So, the Eagles are handling this Nick Foles situation completely wrong. And honestly, if Nick Foles ends up going to a team like the Giants or the Redskins, all the more power to him. I'm not going to root for him, obviously. I will root for the Eagles no matter what. But, if he ends up beating us on another team, it's not going to surprise me, guys. It's not going to surprise me because the Eagles have made their bed. And now they're going to have to lay in it. So, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I try not to make Nick Foles videos all the time on here, but lately I feel like that is all that I have been doing because that is really the only thing happening in this organization right now. There's this huge rift between the fan base, and I'm sure it's in the locker room. I think that a lot of the players are divided right now. And, to give Carson Wentz some credit, I did like the way that he handled the criticism from that article that came out about him being selfish. He really just kind of owned all of it, which I did like. The humility of Carson Wentz has always been great. It's just they're taking a huge chance, I guess, in 2019 because this is a league that's like that. I mean, if Carson Wentz loses like 3 games in a row, the fans are going to be all over him. And this is where people don't think rationally, because they're only thinking of the potential of Wentz. They're not thinking of if he can actually do it or not. And you need a backup plan in this league. You do. I mean, look at what happened to the Redskins. They banked on Alex Smith. That failed. So now the Eagles are banking on Carson Wentz, and we don't know if that is going to pan out in the long run. So, wanted to make this video, guys. I know that many of you are Carson Wentz supporters and many of you are Foles supporters. I would say I'm more in the middle. I like both of the quarterbacks, but I'm leaning more on Foles these days because he has done more. He has proven his worth here. And this is not even just winning the Super Bowl. Before that, 27-2, all that Chip Kelly trading him, which was a mistake. Nick Foles has done so much for the Philadelphia Eagles that it just blows my mind how many people don't value him the way that they should, including the Eagles organization. Jeffrey Lurie, bonehead owner for this. I understand the cap situation, all that, but Nick Foles is worth the $20 million. He really is. So, there you go, guys. Comment down what you guys think. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as I will be covering the Eagles and the NFL all season long, all off season. We got that coming up, the draft, everything, yada, yada, yada. But to all my returning viewers, thank you so much for watching. This has been Jigsaw0097. I will talk to you all later.